Can a black swan event take the XRP price down as well as the rest of the crypto market? I wanted to take a look at this. We haven't had something like this in quite some time. There's a lot of new people that have entered the space. So what I wanted to do is look at past events that have caused the crypto market to basically tank, the black swan events. And I also want to take a look at what type of black swan events could affect the XRP ledger. So this will be a little bit of a history lesson. And then we're going to get into the planning phase of what I am going to do if these things happen. So I hope this helps you better understand my thought process. I hope that this gives you the energy to make a plan in case these things happen. Here we go. So I said that I'm trying to think of a black swan events in the crypto market. Can you give me the past history of the worst black swan events that affected the crypto market? Also, in the end, include what possible black swan events are you seeing? So is AI, seeing anything in the market that we should be worried about? I thought that was pretty cool to take a look at. So going back to 2014, this is 11 years ago, Mt. Gox, the largest Bitcoin exchange at the time, Mt. Gox was hacked, resulting in the loss of 850,000 Bitcoin, which led to an 80% plunge in Bitcoin's price. So you can see like a hack can tank the market. So that is something that is out of our control. And it's very difficult to plan for, but if it happens, you need to be ready. Here's another hack, the DAO hack, a vulnerability in the DAO. A decentralized autonomous organization on Ethereum allowed hackers to drain millions in Ether. The incident forced a controversial hard fork of Ethereum network, creating Ethereum and Ethereum Classic. Oh, I didn't know that's why they created Ethereum Classic. That's cool. I mean, it's good to understand. It obviously sucks for the people that were affected, right? China's ICO and exchange crackdown, 2017, China banned initial coin offerings and ordered exchanges to shut down, causing an 80% drop in the market capitalization and widespread panic selling. So this is a country deciding that, hey, you're not going to be allowed to participate in the crypto market. And, China's got 8 billion people. So when they crack down here, that obviously is a huge negative impact on the market. This is all kind of in the past now. I believe China's opening its doors now to crypto. They want to be a crypto hub like everybody else. They want people, they want jobs, they want people paying taxes, they want innovation in their country. And they're gonna get it. They have some really smart people there. Bitcoin's 2017 and 2018 boom and crash. Bitcoin surged to nearly $20,000 in late 2017, only to crash 75% in 2018. What a hell of a ride. Couldn't you imagine if you were holding that? You'd be like, and then afterwards, you'd be like, I should have sold. I should have sold. We've all been there, right? We've all seen the top of something and we're like, oh, it's going to go higher. It's going to go higher. And then it dips and you're like, it'll come back. It'll come back. And then it dips more. And you're like, do I sell? It's down 40% now. Do I sell? Do I sell? And then you get in that panic mode, right? Hey, I used to be like that. Now I just buy. If it goes there, I sell and then I hold. I try no emotion. I used to be like all over the place. All right. Terra Luna, USDT collapse. There's so many people that were affected by this. People lost millions of dollars. This was a terrible incident. The collapse of Terra Luna algorithmic stablecoin USDT and Luna token wiped out over 40 billion from the market. I remember this. The reason I had such a good year in 2021. I decided to take a vacation in 2022. It was a cruise. We went on this ship called the Apex, and it was awesome. Right in the middle, because we were sailing from Florida to Europe, and in between, right in the middle of the ocean, that's when Terra Luna collapsed. I didn't know. We didn't have Starlink at that time. There was no connection. So my phone starts going off maybe like 12 or 13 hours later, got like a signal, and I saw the market and it was crazy down. And I was like, what happened? And of course it collapsed. But I didn't let that ruin my vacation because, it was such a good one. I just wish I didn't come home to losing hundreds of thousands of dollars. Okay. Next collapse. The sudden bankruptcy of FTX, one of the largest crypto exchanges, led to a massive market crash and the loss of billions in customer funds, further shaking investor confidence. So this is something that is really difficult to see when you are putting money on an exchange and you're leaving it on that exchange to do whatever, right? Maybe there's staking, maybe there's, maybe you're just waiting there to sell it. You research the people that are the founders of this, make sure that they have a clean history. Obviously, Sam Bankman did, and he fooled a lot of people. And, $8 billion was lost in this, and it's just terrible to see. This is definitely something that can be avoided if you use the best exchanges with the best reputations. You have the best chance of not experiencing this, right? There was some early warning signs from the FTX team that kind of left and stuff, but nobody took it seriously, and it led to the crash. Colonial Pipeline ransom attack. So this is interesting, right? This kind of doesn't have to do with crypto other than the ransomware attack. They wanted to be paid in Bitcoin. While not a crypto market event itself, the ransomware event attack led to ransom payment Bitcoin, increased regulatory scrutiny and cryptocurrency. So something crazy like that affected the market. All right. So let's talk about future possible black swan events and what to watch out for. It's really important. So if you see another cryptocurrency, being sued by the SEC, how long these things take. Now, every case is different and cases can be settled more quickly, or the SEC could drop the case more quickly, or we could go to frickin' war. And you've seen what that's like over the last 4.5 years. We don't want that for anybody or any ecosystem, because you see the gray hair on the top of my head? I didn't used to have this. It just started coming in and it keeps going. I'm freaking out. Okay. So ongoing legal battles, such as the Ripple and SEC case, should result in rulings that with far-reaching implications. So if a judge rules a certain way, that could have implications across the crypto market. So that's good to know and keep an eye on, right? If there's a big cryptocurrency, if there is an event where a judge is making a ruling about something that could affect the whole market, you should be paying attention to that. And then get ready. If that is a negative impact on the market, might be an opportunity to, sell and then buy back at a lower price. Obviously, there's like tax implications and all that stuff. Talk with your financial advisor. Have a plan in case something like this happens. Global conflicts and geopolitical tensions. So this is what we're experiencing right now. There is a ongoing issue in the Middle East. We're not going to talk about, what's going on, but it is, Israel and Iran. And now the US has gone into it, and maybe other countries are going to get into it. And so there's a lot of uncertainty here, a lot of nervousness in the market. And so people, instead of kind of going all in, right, they're going to be, maybe pulling some back, wondering if this is going to be a long drawn out campaign. If you live here in America and you're close to my age, you went through 2001 and you went through everything that happened after that. 2001 was a 9/11 attack. And, it was terrible. It was terrible. It did unite our country, which was a beautiful, beautiful thing. But, these are the things that are out of our control, but we could be paying attention to the news and information and take that in and make sure that we are planning accordingly, depending on what these major things could be. Obviously, if some kind of, major, even bigger than what we're seeing now happens, that's probably a time where I might pull some money out of the market. Technological failures and major hacks. This is something that we cannot control. We talked about this a little bit already, but a catastrophic hack or technological failure at a major protocol or exchange could lead to massive losses or erode trust in the ecosystem. It's all about trust. When you lose that trust, it is horrible. You might not trying to be doing anything intentionally wrong, but if you're a part of something and that something fails and it's not your fault, you're still pulled into that, and it does suck. So make sure that you are paying attention to any information about hacks or possible failures of any digital asset. And if you're in that digital asset, you might need to think quickly, talk with that financial advisor. Central bank digital currencies rollout. This is something that actually was a lot more in the news, in the past, like 2022, 2023, and 24. Now that we are kind of anti-CBDC here in America, it's kind of something we don't talk about. But I do think, regardless of one person or one party's opinion of something, I do think this is going to happen here in the US. It's just going to be a matter of time and who's in the office to do it. So, let's just understand that CBDCs could have a negative impact, right? When they come out, people might fear them, obviously, tracking and all kinds of, issues that would come up. Just make sure you're paying attention. Physical threats, the rise of physical attacks targeting crypto holders. So if you have a lot of crypto, don't keep it on your person. People will try to rob you. This is the reason why I don't have any crypto in my house. I keep everything in a safe place, not here. I, have a plan, make sure you follow the plan, and make sure wherever you're putting this, it's still going to be there when you go get it. Okay. And then what should you pay attention to? Regulatory developments, macroeconomics indicators. You could also look at exchange and protocol security. Of course, we talked about geopolitical events, adoption of CBDCs, and personal and digital security. Also, I said, do you have any information about the XRP ecosystem? Any possible black swan events, that you're seeing? And what could make the XRP price go down dramatically? So if you have not been paying attention to the XRP price, it has gone down from about $2.30 down here to about 197. See here, right here, we have about 231 just a week ago. But you can see how some of this news that's come out, the geopolitical news has severely affected confidence in crypto assets. But I think this is just another dip. Bitcoin's already back above 100K. Personally, this is not something where I'm running to the hills. This is something that we're going to get through together. All right, so let's take a look at what this says. XRP ecosystem is experiencing a period of significant evolution and expansion with several notable developments shaping its trajectory in 2025. Here's an overview about the current state of the XRP ecosystem, potential black swan events specific to XRP. And so it says institutional adoption and tokenization. The XRP ledger is attracting growing institutional interest, particularly in tokenization of real-world assets such as property, commodities, and financial products. The recent Apex Summit highlighted a shift toward broader engagement, including institutional participants signaling a new phase in growth of XRP. I think this is talking about the positive things in the XRP ecosystem, and then the black swan event stuff is lower. Ecosystem tokens. It talks about XRP Turbo. I don't know what the hell it is. I do know what Phoenix is. We called Phoenix very, very early in Cryptonaires. So I still think this is going to do really well. I think this went to like $30 or $40 million market cap. I think we called it like 1 million. So it was a really nice win for our community. I've seen a lot of people post about XRP healthcare. I just don't know anything about it personally. So just keep that in mind. And this is a meme token. So just be aware. Do your research. It does talk about compliance and infrastructure, and then of course stablecoin integration. Since we talk about all this so much on the channel, let's just go down to the black swan events, because that's really what this video is about. So here we go. What else could cause the XRP price to sink? Regulatory setbacks. Despite recent regulatory progress, another ongoing legal battle, such as the SEC's delayed decision, an XRP ETF is lingering in uncertainty over the XRP classification. So because the case is still going on, they don't want to approve a spot XRP ETF. It is unlikely that they're going to do that. So you've seen, even when both sides are saying, let's do this, it still takes months. It could take another, I've seen people that say this is going to go into 2026. I really hope that's not true. But you can see how slow the wheels of justice do turn in the United States. I'd imagine it's slow in a lot of places, but I just wish something that has this much potential could redefine, reshape our financial system. And we're just, see you on Thursday next week. No, Thursday next month. Like, can we get something sooner, please? All right. Macroeconomic downturn. A U.S. global recession could lead to liquidity crisis, impacting not only XRP, but the broader crypto market. This would test XRP's narrative as a bridge asset and liquidity tool. So watch out for that. Exchange failures. The collapse of a major exchange that supports XRP could result in significant price drops. So there's a lot of XRP on exchanges. Some exchanges have billions of XRP. If that XRP was hacked and stolen, that could cause a huge problem in the market, because those hackers are going to try to sell that XRP. Why would they hold on to it, right? They want to get rid of it. They want to, run it through one of these tornado cash things and come out the other side with some money that can't be traced. And just be aware of that. Technological failures or hacks. A catastrophic security breach or technological failure on the XRPL could undermine trust and lead to dramatic price declines. Also, it talks about loss of institutional confidence. This is something that we don't really talk about too much. If key financial partners withdraw support to switch to an alternative blockchain solutions, the demand for XRP could plummet. If we see like Bank of America, a city, these custody partners, if we start to see them saying, hey, we're going to go use XYZ, that could be a turning point. And if that turning point comes, I will come up here and make that video. Of course, I would be devastated, and I'm sure you would be too. But this is something that we should be thinking about. At least it's worth it. Factors that can make XRP price drop dramatically: regulatory delays and negative developments. We talked about that. Declining network activity. So in the beginning of the year, we had like hundreds of thousands of wallets being created, more people coming in, more people, participating. And now it's been kind of quiet. I think actively the active addresses on the XRP ledger over the last few weeks has been like 30,000, 35,000. So there are some of you that are still here, still buying, still participating, still trying to understand it. And there are other people that said, you know what, I'm going to come back when more stuff is happening. Totally understand that. And I respect that. It talks about whale selling. There are a lot of whales in the XRP ecosystem. There's not really much you can do to plan for this, because if some, Joe Schmo wakes up tomorrow and decides to sell, 1 million or 5 million or 10 million XRP, there's nothing that you and I could do about it. And there's nothing that we could do or know about it to make it. But I mean, if some whale come out and said, hey, I'm selling a billion XRP tomorrow or something like that, you could do like, oh, all right, then I, maybe sell some and then let him tank the price. And then I would buy back in. So you can, there's ways that you can take advantage of these events if you are on it, right? Like if you are there as it's happening and you can make some really education, thought out moves, you can do some crazy stuff. Talks about profit taking after rallies following strong price increase. Taking profit by early investors can create selling pressure and triggering sharp corrections. It also talks about technological breakdowns, breaking key support levels, and forming bearish chart patterns like descending triangles can result in accelerated declines, analysts have noted, for potential XRP price. So as there, what have been some black swan events over the years? Let's see here. Talks about the February 2025 network halt. Talks about the SEC lawsuit. Talks about, I'm not going to say it out loud, FTX, of course, large scale liquidations. We covered a lot of this already. So let me know what you think down in the comments. Did I miss an event, a black swan event that could possibly affect the market? I want to hear from you. Was this helpful so you can understand kind of maybe the pitfalls and what to watch out for? I thought this could, have a good impact on people that are even new or people that have been here for a while. This is a great refresher. So thank you for spending this time with me. I'm Crypto Sensei. Have a great week ahead. Aloha. Nothing in this video should be taken as financial advice. This is for entertainment purposes only. I am not a financial advisor. Please seek financial advice if you need it. Let's get back to the video.